Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Guns and Cameras. Yes, today is your favorite Friday when we release a new episode and you get to sit back and relax and listen to the sultry sounds of my voice and usually the voice of our special guest. This week, we don't have a special guest. It's just me, you lucky dog. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about what's happening with the Guns and Camera Awards. We're going to give you an update on how we're going to pivot, and it's going to just work out for you and in your favor, so you guys should be excited about it. I'm excited about it. We're going to talk about what's happening in the guns and camera industries. We're going to talk about the podcast. We're going to talk about the future of the channel, some goals going into 2026. And then we're just going to wrap it out with maybe a quick life update on some of the work I've been doing, some of the brands I've been working with. Maybe talk about some camera gear. I don't know. We'll get weird. We'll see where it goes. But while I figure out what I'm going to say next, you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Guns and Cameras. Shooters, are you ready? Stand by. Okay, wow, you guys, that intro took like way more takes than usual. I am badly out of practice. It's been a minute since I've had to record one of these, and I have been all over freaking Tarnation this fall. Like, no kidding, I've been traveling nonstop. It's been awesome and great and super fun, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm just kind of letting you guys know like why everything has been such like a mess, right? It's really great and helpful to do a podcast and try to start a YouTube channel when you have all the time in the world to do it. It's another thing when you're trying to stay consistent, right? And continue working out this muscle of creativity that is just for funsies, that when you have no time and it's like you're trying to get 10,000 other things done. So anyway, that's what's happening with the Guns and Cameras podcast right now. So as I said, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with Guns and Cameras. We're going to talk about the awards. We're going to talk about the podcast, where we're going, stuff like that. So might as well just dive into it. So the Guns and Cameras Awards. As you guys know, this is the first year ever trying to do something like this. And it's been a process of learning, as is anything that you try to do for the first time and do it well. One of the things that I've learned is that in order for some things to be really successful and kind of meet your expectations these days, you really have to have a plan for marketing and distribution and promotion of this thing. And you have to like understand that other people's excitement for something are going to kind of emulate your excitement for something. So if I don't have the energy to like promote it and drive it, talk about it all the time and like be totally sold out about it, it's probably not going to catch on as much as you would want it to. So that being said, I don't want to get negative about it because, again, first year, no expectations. The goal, again, was just to get it done, get the infrastructure built, right? And then see what happens. So this is what is happening. What we're going to do is we're going to pivot a little bit and we're going to change it to basically all peer review, peer selection, peer nomination, peer review of the finals. You guys, as the creators, don't have to do anything at all. Like, I don't need you to fill out a form. I don't need you to pay any money. I don't need you to pick any of your content. Really, you guys as creators and curators of your own content have your Instagram feeds, your YouTube channels, your websites, all these different like mediums where people can go and interact with your content. So the plan here is to basically take a guild, maybe a small guild. It might be just myself and maybe Evan or a couple other people that I have in my inner circle, right? And we're basically just going to go through all of the people and all the content we've been seeing between now and the end of December, and we're just going to pick people and content, pieces of content. We're like, wow, that's actually really good. Or, hey, that use of that color grade was really good, or that music was really good. And we're going to drop those people's names and that piece of content into a spreadsheet, which will then go to peer review. And then we'll notify these people as best we can and say, hey, just so you know, you're in the running for a gold Guns and Cameras Award because you did good work, right? We're going to keep it really like, we're just going to award people. Right? We're just going to give out awards. We're going to do it for free. It's going to be fun. And we're only going to give out golds. So it's not like, hey, congratulations, you got third in a contest you didn't even know you're competing in. It's like, hey, no, like, just so you know, you got a gold award. You won the award for photo of the year, blah, blah, whatever. And then we're just going to send them out with freaking certificates. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. And then what am I going to do with the rest of these super dope coins? Well, I figure I'll just start giving them out. Like, I'll just start packing a few with me everywhere I go. When I meet fellow creators, I can be like, hey, I'm going to celebrate you with a challenge coin, right? Like, that's kind of the cool thing about challenge coins is you got to give them out. So that's the update for the GCAs. So I still have to figure out how I'm going to restructure the website to like account for this. So I'm still trying to figure that bit out. But for now, I've went on and I have turned off the paid entries. Like if you wanted additional entries or the bulk entry, I've gone ahead and just turned those off. The first free submission is still there. So if you paid or if you have submitted yourself, you're still in the runnings. This doesn't disqualify you, right? You're still entered for the category in which you entered for to win an award. It's just going to fall right into that new structure that we're doing. So there's the update for the GCAs. We're going to continue with the original schedule, which means we're going to have an award show early January. It's going to be live on YouTube, and we're going to announce we're gonna basically put up who was in the running. We're gonna say who won. We're gonna say why they won, and all that kind of stuff. So it should be fun. We're gonna try to make it fun. Again, first year is doing anything is hard, and hey, I'm gonna consider it a complete success because so far, I mean, we got the coins made, we got the website built, we got the branding figured out. Like we did a lot of work, and so that's just gonna carry on for next year, which means in 2026 GCAs, all that work's already done. We just got to change the date and then really invest the time in promotion and working through the kinks and stuff. So pretty pumped about that. So there's your update on the GCAs. Guns and cameras. Let's talk about the podcast and the direction for the YouTube channel. So one of the things that, again, just so you guys know, the whole goal of the Guns and Cameras podcast, if you've been listening or have been a fan of the show, you guys know that the whole point of this thing, one was mostly for me, for a personal exercise in creating something and staying consistent, right? Creating the branding, creating the website, creating the podcast platforms, going through all of the lessons, and discipline in staying consistent, right? Every 2 weeks since almost a year and a half ago, there has been a new episode of Guns and Cameras that has been posted. And I'm pretty proud of that. That takes a lot of effort, a lot of discipline, a lot of determination, even in moments like this week where you're like, hey, crap, I'm scrambling. I don't know what to post. I have episodes recorded from the summer. I still haven't rolled out yet, but I haven't had a chance to promote them. And, you have all these moments where you just kind of have to sit down in front of a camera and a microphone like I'm doing right now and just be real and authentic and say, hey, look, time is short, man. But I'm going to get in front of this camera, I'm going to get on this microphone, and I'm just going to start talking in order to continue staying on top of it, staying motivated. And again, it's like working out at the gym. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, I really don't want to go. I really don't. It would be so easy just to say no and let there not be an episode this Friday. And so the discipline and the determination to do this is what helps, again, you just got to do it. And I guess if you're thinking about starting something and you're worried about this, just start it and try to stay consistent. Set realistic expectations for yourself with respect to 2 week between episodes is just enough time for me to figure it out, but just not enough to make me anxious about it, Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying thank you for, if you've been a fan of the show, if you've been following this process at all, if you've listened to some, all, or none of the episodes, and maybe this is the first one, just thank you for taking the time to hang out and listen to Joshua Best, the host, try to figure all this out. Everybody had to start somewhere, right? And so where do we want to go from here, right? Talking about how we've built this infrastructure, right? The platform has been built. It's not a big platform, right? It's right now, it's a single layer deck. It's about 6 to 8 inches off the ground, but it's flat and I feel like it's pretty sturdy. I'm able to stand on it. So from here, what are we going to do next? Well, I don't want to sound too cliche, right? I do want to build the YouTube channel. Like that is still one application that I want to learn more about. Instagram is kind of meh. Like I really honestly, I could throw it away and be perfectly happy. But for the Guns and Cameras platform, the Instagram tends to be the one thing that like we have some traction with. So we're going to continue with the Instagram, but I think the priority is going to be probably TikTok and YouTube. Those are two applications that I have spent like zero time on. Like honestly, I watch a lot on YouTube. I don't create all that much on YouTube. Guns and Cameras on YouTube has basically just been like, I take the audio version and the video version and I do the intros and stuff, but like it's really my effort level into putting those things together is like minimal, right? Scraping the bottom of the barrel of creative energy, if I'm being honest. And so moving forward into 2026, I would like to learn how those algorithms work, how those applications work, see if I can't get a little traction, because all of that carries over, right? If we're being honest with ourselves about how marketing works in 2025 and 2026, as much as I like to believe in a renaissance or a return to traditional techniques, which I think is kind of happening, there's always going to be this hybrid. AI is going to be thrown in there. Digital is going to be thrown in there. Social media is going to be thrown in there. It's kind of becoming this giant melting pot of marketing techniques, and it's only going to be good for you if you know how to use these applications well, right? Strategically even, right down to how you design and build the content, right? Like recently with Reels, whenever I edit Reels, I'm trying very hard to make sure that like there is some kind of hook at the front, like, you know, where you see the meg dump before you see the story start, right? Versus starting the story on like the reload and like all that. Like you start with the fun stuff and then you take people on this psychological roller coaster with your little tiny baby piece of content in order to help it perform better on certain applications, right? And so learning how these apps work, learning how the algorithm works, again, is just going to help me become a better marketer. It's only going to help me grow Guns and Cameras. And using this as like your testing board and playground is, I think, probably the best way, especially if you're thinking about yourself starting something. I would encourage you to look at it more of a sandbox than like this has to be my end-all be-all professional front-facing thing, right? By all means, put in the effort that you have available, right? Like with time and investing. Give what you can, invest what you can, but don't like overcommit yourself. And so if you have a question about, hey, what does this look like? You know, maybe turn that into a YouTube video. And I'm speaking to myself here, you guys. So, and I don't want to ramble. I don't want this to be an hour of me talking about hopes and dreams and plans and blah, blah, blah. Because nobody wants to sit and listen to that, if I'm being totally honest. Wow, you guys, I'm so stoked about this Winchester. I've been after an old school lever gun for forever. You guys, we are halfway through this week's episode of Guns and Cameras, and that means it's time for me to tell you it's been brought to you by 1156 Productions. If you need high quality content for your brand, be sure to find me at 1156.agency and reach out so we can get some really killer content going for you in the next couple of months. It's also been brought to you by Tokens of Valor. Tokens of Valor, as you may or may not know, is my boutique ballistic jewelry company where I take things like brass and copper from real bullets and I put it together with sterling silver and turn them into handcrafted wearable works of art. If you are somebody you know is interested in having a piece made, just find me at Tokens of Valor on Instagram. Send me a DM and we'll get something started for you. I am working on a website, but that's been like for forever now, and I don't know if it's ever going to get made. But for now, Tokens of Valor on Instagram. Send me a DM. This has been an interesting episode. Not our usual thing that we do, you know. I guess it's becoming more usual because time is short. But yeah, it's been fun to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the next year and go over some of the things related to the Guns and Camera Awards. So you guys, while I get back into playing with my sweet new Winchester, you guys enjoyed the rest of this week's episode of Guns and Cameras. The plan is we're going to move more into YouTube. I got a whole bunch of cool guns now. I went a little bit crazy with what I was able to collect. Like we got this thing is cool. I'm really excited about this one. This is I think between 1900 and 1902, according to the serial number. This is a 5-digit serial number, Winchester 1894 lever action. This is one of my This has been on the top of my collector list for quite some time. These things are incredible. This is a 25-35 is what it's chambered in, 25-35 Winchester, which is not like your traditional 30-30, so it's even a little bit more strange. So we're going to do some stuff, in comparison of old school versus new school, because this thing was made, like 125 years ago. And, I mean, it just still feels like it was made yesterday. I mean, yeah, it's got the patina on there. But the action, like if you actually look at the wear marks and stuff on these parts, I mean, they look great. This gun still shoots probably accurately too. I checked the riflings on the barrel with a flashlight, and they look pretty good. I bet you I could hunt with that thing and actually smoke an animal fairly well with just the iron sights. So I got that guy. I've got, what else have I got lying around? I've got a bunch of new modern stuff. I've got Chinese Mosin we're going to get weird with. I've got, I'm working maybe on a restoration video of an 8mm Mauser, German Mauser. Pretty cool. So like all of this stuff, and then of course the cameras, like we got a new drone, so I could do some stuff with that. We're doing some new lens stuff. We're talking about like, I might do some videos on diopters and these different lens filters that you can use to change storytelling techniques, frame rates, all this stuff. Like there's a bunch that we could get into in 2026. So I'm trying to make capture plan, creative direction plan for how we're going to do that, and actually turn this thing into an actual like guns and cameras channel, not just a very one-dimensional. Like, look, you guys, at its core, this channel is meant to celebrate and promote the creators in the gun industry. You've heard me say it 1,000 times on this podcast. We have some incredibly talented creators doing some really cool things, and nobody's talking about them. So we will still continue to spotlight as much as we can the creators in our community. I mean, one of the goals being like actually getting some of these creators out here with me, or going to them and co-creating content, like taking you guys behind the scenes and how these people work, the environments within which they work. Like this little basement area right here that you see on the camera, I do a lot of stuff in a very small space, right? Like a lot of photos, a lot of videos. I can get really creative with not a lot of square footage and a lot of different camera gear that I've got laying in boxes back here. So we like, it's cool stuff, all valuable, I hope, for you, all interesting, I hope, for you. So we're going to try to, do that. So that's kind of the plan for the Guns and Cameras podcast, or the platform, is to take it into new directions and see what is, like at least, not every 2 weeks, right? Maybe once a month, like once a month, have an actually like fleshed out, concepted, well put together YouTube video with a whole bunch of promotional material that I can put out on shorts on TikTok or whatever, and in YouTube shorts and all that, and just start seeing how that works. Feedback is always appreciated. You guys know that. Comments, send me DMs, get on the website, gunsandcameras.io, send me info through there, and all that. We'll just see, because it's fun, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's still fun for me. Like Guns and Cameras has not turned into that thing where it's like a chore yet. It's more like, it's a fun thing that, here we are, I'm rambling again. So anyway, it's fun. It's a good time. So that's kind of the future. What I'm looking at in 2026. If you have ideas, or whatever, concerns, comments, whatever, let me know. What else? Let's talk about what I've been up to. So as you guys know, I'm the host. My name is Joshua Best. I own a production company called 1156 Productions. It's full service for the most part, production agency, photo, video, lifestyle, studio, the works. I specialize in outdoor adventure and 2A content. I have titled myself executive producer, which is kind of where I like to operate, is in the, from a high level, starting at the executive level, managing and running creative projects for brands across the board. And that is right now my main source of income. This year has been, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, has been a very challenging year. Probably the most challenging since I started doing this. And by this, I mean like entrepreneurship, running my own companies, paying my bills with money that I've had to make through selling myself, right? Or through nobody's like money doesn't magically appear in my bank account right now. So what, and it's been like, dude, it was dry. So up until like, and it's been touch and go. So if I'm like, I started the company in 2020, right? Crazy. And it was mostly just like I was making enough freelance money that I was worried about taxes. And so I wanted to have a revenue capturing machine set up that was legal, right? So started the company in 2020, and it was mostly just my side hustle until 2021 when I left my full-time job at a marketing agency running their media, and had to like use 1156 as a lifeboat. So all of a sudden I go from full-time work, the works, to full-time working for myself, freelance. And then I did that for a couple of years, and then needed to get a job. It got slow again. I needed to fold back into a job. Part of that was just learning how, like, it's feast and famine in this industry, right? Like, there are production seasons. So I wasn't fully aware of that. So, like, I hit the first kind of rough patch and was like, holy crap, like, what the flip? And then hit the next one I folded in, got a job at Stopbox USA. And then, like, 2 weeks into that job, I actually put in my notice. I was like, I think I made a mistake. So, like, I came in, I started, helped them launch the Stopbox Pro in all the content. So almost all of that original content was done by myself or by Ricky. And then 2 weeks into it, quit, put in my notice. And then they were like, well, let's keep you on like part-time. And so, which was very nice of them. So stayed employed by them while doing my other freelance stuff for like a year, and then came back again full-time, like a few months later, folded back in full-time, and then in March of 25, left again, quit officially, like all the way done with Stopbox, and then have been like full-time freelance since then. And it has been dead slow, like up until like August. Yeah, September really. And then now it's been crazy. So it's been just like the crazy roller coaster for Josh. And on top of that, it's like you're trying to maintain gear, and I'm trying to sell gear that I don't use anymore, and do all this other stuff. So, just long story short, it's been a wild ride in 2025, but I'm pretty excited about what might be changing in 2026. We might be relocating. We're thinking about that. We might be, making some changes here. Really want to get out of Washington State, just because they really don't like me, or people like me in general. And by people like me, I mean freedom-loving, God-fearing conservatives who want to raise their kids healthily and intelligently with a, God-centered education, who are creative, who are willing to ask questions, who believe in the Second Amendments and the rights that we've been living under according to the Constitution, all that stuff. Washington State wants to push us out, so they might be pushing us out. Anyway, there you go. There's a quick life. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited about 2026. I mean, there's two parts of me, right? One part of me is like the wheels are going to come off the wagon and the apocalypse is going to be happening in 2026, which I felt about 25 and 24 and etc. But on the other side, I'm like, or 2026 could be a great year of growth and new challenges and finally feeling like, you're getting ahead of this crazy insanity that you've been trying to survive the last couple of years. So who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is this: God is good. He loves me. He loves you. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die for you on a cross because he loves you and he wants a relationship with you. That at the core is the foundation in which I live, is in that. I live for Christ. I will die for Christ if he asks me to. But that is the root, and that is the foundation of my being. So all of the rest of this could go away. It could all fail epically in a big giant crash, blaze of glory, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. None of this stuff really matters. It's, and what I mean by that is like, it does matter, right? You matter, your visions matter. Like, God is using us, people like us, to speak into microphones and do stuff on the internet, create content, blah, 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 blah. Where do I want to go with this? But at the end of the day, I would much rather be out in the shop making things with my hands and meeting people for reals and not doing this whole like digital thing. And that's my motivation. Is that a motivation? Sounds like a motivation to want to just like quit, but I'm not going to. Anyway, it's getting weird. So there's your update for Josh. I'm hopeful and cautiously optimistic for 2026. There you go. What else can we talk about? Pretty stoked. Got a new drone, Mavic 3. It's been out for a while, but it's new for me. I've got a smoking deal on a DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine. Pretty pumped about that. That is a pretty sweet machine. I'm not too keen on what they did with the Mavic 4. If I'm being honest, I think the 3 is probably going to be one of their better machines, and that's why I went with that one. And I saved almost $3,000, so there you go. Other than that, we're just staying pretty consistent with the rigs that I've got. I've learned a lot over the last couple of months. I really want to do a separate episode where we talk just about what I've learned with the purchases I've made, the gear I've chosen to upgrade, the gear I've chosen to let go. I do have one plan for a video coming up that's going to be like, can I replace this case, right, my big case, with this case when it comes to creating content for YouTube and etc. I got it right here, actually. So what I'm curious about is these DJI cameras have gotten so good. And one of the things that I really just want to do an experiment is do like an actual head-to-head of using, two DJI Osmo, like an Osmo 4, an Osmo 6, and then the Osmo Nano. So 3 DJI cameras and then the DJI mics to capture the same content I would usually shoot with the Sony FX3s, tripods, and the works, and see how comparable the footage is, like if there is a huge advantage. I mean, obviously, yeah, depth of field, bokeh, all that stuff, like the sharpness thing is going to be impacted, but for consuming content on devices and iPads and all that for YouTube, I don't know why I need to continue packing out all this really expensive gear when I could just be rolling around with this teeny tiny little like football size package of equipment and get the same stuff and have it be as effective, including iPhones, right? Like the iPhone is going to be part of that. I got another 16 up there. I might use that for some stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to get outside of my comfort zone a little bit this year. So should be fun. Yeah, I think that's all I got, you guys. We're at 30 minutes. Like I said, short and sweet. When it's all said and done, at the end of the day, this episode will probably be 30 minutes on the dot because we got to trim some fat out of here and add the middle portions and all that. But yeah, we're gonna come back here with the episode right probably before Christmas. I believe the next episode is due to drop, if I look at my calendar like a professional, because I am professional. It's 26, like the day after Christmas is when the next episode is gonna drop. So coming up fast. That episode we're gonna try to have be a little bit more professional. Actually, kind of more of our wash, rinse, repeat. I got to get out to the range. I got a bunch of content I want to shoot, a bunch of products I want to shoot. I got a really fun one I want to try out. It's going to be nasty. Fire-breathing dragon. It's kind of what I'm calling it. Halo-themed dragon fire breather. Pretty sick. Anyway, you guys, that's all I got for you this week. Short and sweet episode. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being on this ride with me. If you've been a diehard, I appreciate you. Stay tuned for more information on the GCAs. If you're interested, just go to the website, gunsandcameras.io, or just hit me up, send me a DM on social media, and yeah, let's connect. Yeah, good stuff coming in 2026, so stay tuned, and I'll see you around. If you're in the industry, I'll probably see you at SHOT Show. Don't be shy. Come say hello. I might even have some leftover challenge coins to hand out. If you're interested in having one of those, they're going to be super rare collectibles, right? 25 on the back end of them. These will probably not get made again. The bronze ones or the silver ones. Golds we'll see. So yeah, if you're going to SHOT, come say hello, and we'll see you next time. You guys have a great night. All right. You guys, that is the end of this week's weird episode of Guns and Cameras. If you listened to it and have stuck around, I appreciate you. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about what we got coming up here in the next couple of weeks, months, years of Guns and Cameras. We are just going to continue building and doing the best we can. If you've been along for the ride, thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you're going to be at SHOT Show, seriously, come find me. I got challenge coins I got to get rid of, and I got a lot of them. So, and some other cool things that I put together from the last year. We're doing the prints again. We're doing the stickers again. We're doing some pins. It's fun. I like making things and giving them away, especially. So it's going to be fun. So yeah, stay tuned for updates about GCAs. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next episode of Guns and Cameras.